Y'all know that I've seen y'all. A 16th of Suboxone, you'll sell your soul. Y'all parents, y'all don't show them, man. Be fucking ready for the skits, man. Because these kids are going there, man, and running up big time dope deals. If you owe me, you gonna pay me. A lot of time they ain't beating your kids like, you know, your kids has already called and told you that they are. But they will. Don't get it wrong. These motherfuckers will. They'll do some fucked up shit to your kids about that money. You know what I'm saying? But 9 times out of 10, they're not just getting extorted for their money. You know what I'm saying? They owe for something. You know what I'm saying? Now the fentanyl has already hit the prison system. These folks should come over the loudspeaker on Friday afternoon. So a healthcare unit is out of Narcan. Overdose this weekend, your ass is dead. Come out over the loudspeaker in the dorms. Y'all just need to buckle down on your kids and tell your kids, man, leave. You know what I'm saying? If you owe them, don't call my phone with this bullshit talking about they gonna fuck me or they gonna, no, you gonna let them fuck you. They're not gonna rape you, you know what I mean? You gonna come off that ass willingly. Nowadays, kids are scared to take an ass whooping, you know what I mean? Scared to fight. Man, fuck that. Go for watching over here, turn the fuck up.
DC the Voice, Alabama Prisoner Profiles. What's going on with y'all, man? Happy Thanksgiving to y'all, man. Make sure y'all continue to like, subscribe, share the content, leave a comment, send a super thanks in the comment section, and make sure y'all bless that Cash App and that PayPal with the donation $BAMA Prison Profiles. Say, man, we hit 2,000 subs today, man. I want to let everybody know I appreciate y'all. We done walked down 2,000. We done get another 1,000 subs in 3 weeks, which is why I'm not tripping on blocking you goofies. So play geeked. You gonna make a whole nother YouTube channel or account to be able to come back over here and talk crazy. Now, with today's subject, I want to ask these folks out here with loved ones that are incarcerated for these crazy charges, how many of you have accepted or even know that your loved one is a predator behind the walls? Especially if that's what they're in there, like that's their original charge. How do y'all deal with that? Do you advocate for counseling for that individual? Y'all let me know about that in the comment section. I saw this one thing in one of the groups earlier. This woman was talking about how her uncle had done like a bunch of extra years and nobody was trying to help them, wasn't in the system, like couldn't get back in court, and she had the picture of some old paperwork probably from the 90s, you know what I'm saying? And you looked at the charges, it's like and some more. I think it was some more wild stuff on there. It was like not many people commenting on there to answer it. I was just like, dang, that's wild. That's tough. You know what I'm saying? So, which brings up this sensitive subject. And with today's profile, I want to let you guys know there's not much information out there available other than a couple inmate sources I have that knew of this gentleman. So, and a couple facts here and there from the internet. So, anyway, without further ado, we have Lamont Wilson, aka ATL. Lamont Wilson was born in 1984 in Atlanta, Georgia, presumably. Not much is known about how he ended up in Alabama or his early life at this time. Lamont, while living in Alabama, would catch a conviction for assault first degree and sodomy first degree in October 2007 while living in Calhoun County. He would be sentenced to 10 years on one charge and 20 years on the other, running wild and or consecutive for a total of 30 years. Sources say Lamont, being an Atlanta native, would take on the nickname ATL behind bars. It's been reported that originally ATL was actually a decent guy that would end up being corrupted by his environment. A young man just entering the system at 23, ATL would fight to keep older, more experienced and seasoned convicts off of him. It is unclear at this time when, but at some point into his prison stay, sources say ATL would become a, quote, violent homosexual. Pause. I want to pause, y'all. Remember they talked about dude the same way from the Scottsboro boys case that came in when he was like 18, you know. Bandit indoctrination. Sources say ATL was taken under the wing of seasoned convicts as he began his indoctrination into banditism. These seasoned convicts would go on to teach ATL how to hunt/prey on weaker inmates. These tactics culminated down to about 2 commonplace prison practices. The Hollywood style outright grapist. This style would prove to be an effective weapon in his arsenal in the pursuit of the almighty behind. Standing at 6'4" and over 200 pounds when healthy and not being starved by the Alabama Department of Corrections, ATL overpowered weaker prisoners with ease. The second tactic would be one of romance, giving the targeted prisoner gifts as in commissary items, narcotics, clothes, hygiene items, anything else he could think of to drop this prisoner's guard until one day he decides it's time for him to be compensated for his efforts, and the goal is then achieved by force or by choice. This is a common practice among prisoners in the Alabama system. No matter the amount, if a person is in debt, it opens the floodgates for any and everything to happen to them. Of course, everyone isn't going for this kind of predatory behavior, and sometimes ATL would have to fight his target or other prisoners who came in his defense or he felt were encroaching on his territory/property. As is the case with a lot of prisoners that engage in these practices, they become quote-unquote warriors of booty, if you will. As physical confrontation, even death, is always a possibility in this twisted pursuit of gratification. These prisoners know this going in, and they could in turn be assaulted, stabbed, or unalived by their mark. It speaks to the psyche of this type of inmate to still risk it all, especially after an advance has been properly/firmly, sternly rebuffed. Lastly, ATL was taught by seasoned warriors how to wrangle a quote stable, if you will. This practice calls for having multiple prisoners who have been quote turned out under his wing. Seasoned convicts have been heard and said to have as many as 3 to 5 under their wings at any given time. Lamont, when possible, would implement these practices as well as teaming up with other warriors. This practice calls for the beginning humiliation of said target by making them do things such as sitting down to pee, put on makeup, put on makeshift hair, wearing their clothes a certain type of way, etc. With this pyramid structure in place, these prisoners at his very beckon and call, making him food, running errands, cleaning his cell, committing nefarious or violent acts, and of course sexual gratification at will. This also at times allowed for Lamont as well as other alpha predators with their own stables to insulate themselves from apprehension or detection from prison administration, who often knew just what they were up to anyways. But if there's no hard proof or evidence, no harm, no foul on the administration's part. If the practice is implemented correctly, they should be able to avoid detection. Lamont, as the alpha warrior, would be insulated from prosecution, often instructing his boys or other beta warriors, if you will, to do his bidding. It is rumored and confirmed that Lamont has multiple victims under his belt, and it is also rumored that he has a couple PREA cases against him, allegedly. We all know PREA is the Prison Grape Elimination Act. Recent transgressions. In May of this year, ATL would catch another assault first-degree case, which tacked on another 25 years to his original sentence, which he was just a couple of years from completing. Now presumably hopeless, ATL would descend deeper into his activities as if they had not already proved to be heinous enough. At the beginning of November, a young white prisoner, 22 years old, named Daniel Williams, was rumored to have owed money to ATL and/or his crew. Sources say that ATL had transcended into an even bigger monster than he allegedly already was. Ruthless and brutal, a true product of the Alabama Department of Corrections. Sources say ATL sent 2 to 3 prisoners under his wing or fellow beta bandits to abduct Daniel by knife point, and he was escorted out of the dorm he lived in to ATL's dorm. Here is where the alleged torture is said to have started. At the direction of ATL, allegedly he had his crew bound, beat, sexually assault, prostitute out, and then give a hot shot to keep Daniel from snitching. A hot shot is a concoction of either hard drugs and a poisonous foreign agent like battery acid or something like that, if they can get their hands on it, or some other chemical, or an overdose amount of hard drugs, which is then injected into the veins, causing an overdose. Daniel was out for a while until another prisoner dragged him into the officer's shift office, whom then waited until the next day to take him to the hospital, where he lay brain unalived for a week before the family decided to pull the plug. Prison officials, as I stated earlier, aware of the type of ish ATL has going on, told the parents and family of Daniel he died of an overdose. Initially, it was reported ATL was the only prisoner locked up for this incident, and he was transferred to another facility. It was then rumored he was let out of lockup and the disciplinary was dropped. As of now, ATL has been transferred to arguably the most violent place in the country per square inch. That place being Holman Correctional Facility in Atmore, Alabama, which houses the worst of the worst, the incorrigible, as well as death row prisoners. It is unknown at this time whether ATL will be prosecuted for these alleged acts, but it is said that the parents of Mr. Williams are preparing an action against the Alabama Department of Corrections and the state of Alabama. Just another day in the life of the pursuit of the Almighty behind for Booty Warrior Lamont Williams, aka ATL. Okay, there y'all have it, man. Make sure y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Remember, like, subscribe, share the content, bless the Cash App, bless the PayPal, $ BAMA Prison Files. Leave a freaking super thanks in the comment section. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm coming at y'all. We turn it up. This was requested, as y'all might know, DC The Voice, Alabama Prisoner Profiles,